Tell you what, I really quite enjoyed that second half against Arsenal. And if our finishing was any better, that would have been 3 points. And 3 points we deserve. There's a few talking points I'd like to discuss from that game, including Ruben Amorim's thoughts on Garnacho's performance, Højlund, and plenty more. Let's get into it. Given the expectation of lots of United fans, myself included, going into that Arsenal game, I think it was a pretty positive overall performance. The second half certainly better than the first one. But Amorim has reiterated something again after this game. So it bears reiterating and repeating now about how he wants his United team to play in the future, not just right now. I'm going to run through 5 things from that game. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. There's actually a couple of things I want to run through before I even start those 5. Did you see this on Sky Sports today? Whipping out the tape measure. My God. It's like they've just decided that this is the biggest takeaway from that game, and it's now the headline that should be taken forward. It's absolutely hilarious. And also, I'm not even including this as one of the 5 things and 5 talking points. Just Bruno, again, being the guy who is lifting this team. And Amorim after the game saying that we need more Brunos. Yeah, we need Brunos all over the pitch. But the reason I'm saying it's not really a talking point is because it's just something I've repeated and said time and time and time and time and time and time again, and will again in the future. Love Bruno. Hate anybody that overly criticises me. I can understand there's certain aspects of his game that you find frustrating, but to try and suggest that he's anywhere near even the top 20 problems at this club is hilarious. Now, let's talk about this. Amorim on the second half and overall how United played. Because this was after the Ipswich game. United going into the low block. And Amorim stated, it hurts me. I don't want to be playing like this with this Manchester United team. But in that first half, Man United sat in a very disciplined, it worked by the way, low block. Arsenal, for all the ball that they had, hardly really threatened us at all because we didn't really give them much space. But speaking after the game, this is what Amorim repeated.
It's a difficult situation. So we just want to give them this a lot of effort. Sometimes in the low block, I know it's frustrating, but in the future we are not going to play like that. But in the moment we try to win games.
And the reason that I'm repeating it is because Amorim keeps repeating it. This low block is a needs must right now. This low block the players are more comfortable in. What you saw with this movement here and this chance that was created, I think is a real glimpse of what we can hopefully see from next season onwards. You've got Dalot over there on the left-hand side as a wing-back. You've got Bruno receiving the ball here, and you can't see him. Well, actually, let me just move the camera. You've got Mazraoui down there. Opposite flank in lots of space, just in case United can break forward. It's exactly what happens. The ball goes up towards Xerxes. Great hold-up play from him. He turns. You can see Dalot on the overlap, and Dalot is now streaking forward while Mazraoui is bursting into the space here. There's Mazraoui. There's all the space in front of him that's getting left because Arsenal is so focused on the ball over here. That creates the opportunity. Great save from David Raya. And if David Raya wasn't as good, United would have won this game. But that there, moving from the left-hand side with one wing-back to the opposite side with the other wing-back, that, ladies and gents, is how Amorim wants this team to play. How Amorim wants to use his wing-backs as aggressive attacking outlets, not as part of a deep back line. But right now, it's needs must. But it's kind of a promise and a pledge next season that that will not be how he wants his team to play. And the reason that I keep reiterating it is because Amorim keeps repeating it. And I just want United fans to remember it when they get frustrated about how United are playing right now. And of course, you're going to get frustrated right now about the finishing because, again, the poor finishing hurt United. And well, it was this one here that annoyed me the most. Højlund receiving this ball from Casemiro, winning the ball high up the pitch. In this situation, Højlund should just let the ball go across him, bring it onto his left, and then he got the opportunity. But instead, he touches it, brings it onto his right. It gives Declan Rice the ability to get round him, and obviously the slide tackle happens. Loses the ball, loses the chance, because he hesitated. He took too long. Now, Højlund he was dropped from that game. Amorim was saying, I think, that he was making sure that he was fit and ready for Sociedad, but in reality, he just got dropped. Didn't really make a difference, though. Overall to United's finishing, because it was a game, again, where the poor... Was it? Half of that I'm probably going to say is more towards the fact that Raya made some cracking saves. From the Xerxes flick, from the Mazraoui chance. Bruno could have got his into the corner right at the end, but Højlund and just United's finishing. If it's not like Sociedad, like it was in the week, if it's not about the fact that we're not creating the chances, those final balls weren't getting there, then instead it's the chances are being created and we're still not finishing them. My God, it's been so bad this season, man. United's conversion rate has to be one of the lowest. Really, really is. But from a defensive perspective, we'll flip back. We'll have a conversation about Ayden Heaven because he made his Manchester United Premier League debut, and all credit to him, man. Coming in at left centre-back at half-time for Lenny Yoro, he was confident, competent, and comfortable with the ball at his feet. Comfortable being involved. Comfortable being asked to play out from the back with the ball. And I think that's all you can ask for an 18-year-old making his Premier League debut for Manchester United and against the club that we signed him from. There would have been a lot of pressure on him, in his head, to deliver, and I think he did deliver. Now, if Yoro is out for the Europa League game, there's every chance that you could see Heaven make his Europa League debut for United. And given how comfortable he looked, I think that's the best thing. It was a debut where you looked at him and it didn't really look like he was making his debut. And that's pretty much the best you can ask for. So well done to him, and fingers crossed we see plenty more of it across the course of this season. Now, somebody who definitely played well in that game, and we talk about how United attacked, and that was Garnacho. And the question I think I want to ask is, do you think Garnacho's, in the long term, is more efficient on the right-hand side or better on the right than he is on the left? If you put Garnacho on the right-hand side, it feels more like you were going to get more crosses from him, more heads-up sort of play. Amorim said that Alejandro Garnacho kind of had a bit of a complete game because he was there tracking back and helping his defence, but also being the main attacking outlet when bursting out from the back because Xerxes and Eriksen, of course, didn't have that pace. If he's on the right-hand side, it feels like he's more naturally inclined to go on the outside and use his right foot to get the cutbacks. And it was Garnacho's cross to Xerxes for that chance. It was Garnacho's cross to Bruno for the chance that he had right towards the end. Garnacho was a creative outlet and also a defensive thorn. And that's why Amorim used those words there to sort of describe what was a bit of a complete game from him. I think he deserves credit for it, as does Casemiro. And I'm just really hoping that Casemiro can keep up the sort of form that I've seen in the last couple of games between now and the rest of the season, because we could really do with a little mini renaissance from Casemiro before he's moved on. I thought he played well. I thought timing was important. Like when he, for example, won the ball for Højlund here with that tackle. Really well timed. Had he missed that, he would have been so far out of position and Arsenal would have been running through into empty space, which is the risk you take. But all credit to Casemiro for how he's played in the last couple of games, and I just hope that he can keep that form up. And to go back to it again, and this is something that I will continue to reiterate as well. Ruben Amorim has no intention of playing in a low block consistently for United, but right now, it needs must. And so many people trying to suggest that Amorim isn't flexible or isn't changing his system. He's playing in a low block because he has to right now, not because he wants to, because he's trying to get the results. It worked against Arsenal, and we should have won. You let me know what you think in the comments below, but Sociedad coming up next. Big game on Thursday. Big game energy.